The voice of scholars. The voice of scholars.
A bird sitting on a branch is never afraid of branch breaking because her trust is not on the branch but on its own wings. Hello everyone and welcome to our Epical TV YouTube channel. You are watching the program The Voice of Scholars. With me, Ram, and technically supporting me, Anil. This program raises the contemporary educational issues with the various scholars in relation to their personal and professional life. So today we are honored to have dashing and intellectual personality, trainer, PhD scholar, and book writer who has written several books from junior level to higher level. He has written Paragon English series, Camphor English series, and so on. Similarly, he has written for the B.Ed level students Mass for Communication, Linguistic, and ELT methodology. So you might have guessed our today's guest, and he is none other than Associate Professor of Kailali Multiple Campus, Mr.M.S.Saud. So let me welcome him in our program. First of all, welcome to our program, and thank you for joining with us, sir.
Thank you.
How is your life and work moving on, sir?
My life is not so easygoing. Anyway, I am struggling hard to get success and to learn more and more things also, because I am a learner and as well as a teacher, and I have been learning for a long time, and I think I have to learn much more again.
Let's go back to your past life, sir. How would you remember your past life with your workplace, your schooling?
So it's quite different. If I have to remember my past life, then I think it was very difficult for me because actually my father taught me so minor things of Nepali alphabet and some other new numbers like that at home, and so I did not get chance to study at grade 1 like that, and I was directly admitted to grade 2 when I joined school. School was so far from my home at that time, and it took altogether 2 hours right from my home. That's why in my childhood I couldn't attend school, so I studied at home and my father taught me there, and so I directly joined to grade 2 when I was admitted here. Actually I had to work a lot because I am from let's say poor family background actually. So when school is over, and so on Saturdays and on holidays, and so I have to look after the, let's say, cattle, I have to look after the goats, right? I have to cut grass and I have to bring firewood from the jungle, and in the summer season, because there would be a 1 month vacation at that time, so I had to let's say chase the monkeys which used to come there to let's say destroy, to eat the crops. Right, so I did not get any time to study at home leisurely because of the lack of time, and because the school was very far, and so I had to work much. So when I wanted to, let's say, memorize vocabularies like that, and so when I went to the jungle, right, so for grazing goats or like that, then I used to memorize there. So that it was very difficult for me actually.
Really struggling life.
Yeah, I struggled hard.
But despite of struggling life, how do you come to complete your higher education, sir?
Actually my father used to work in India, and I passed up to grade 5 in one of the schools, that is Jalpe Devi primary school, Nadi. There was only up to grade 5 at that time. Then after that I had to shift to the next secondary school, and I was admitted to Vidya Mandir Mavi Binayak. Then from there I passed my SSC at that time, and after passing SSC I wanted to go to Kathmandu because my aim from the beginning was to be a teacher. So I wanted to teach. So this was my eagerness actually. So when I went to Kathmandu, then I was admitted to Mahendranath campus Tahasal, where I took English and mathematics as my major subject at intermediate level, and I passed, let's say, PCL from Mahendranath campus Tahasal with these 2 subjects. Then I had to leave any one subject, so that I left mathematics and I wanted to take only English. And I joined to English from the B.Ed level up to master's degree.
You have been teaching English subject as well as other subject also. How are you managing your subjects, sir?
When I came to this college, at the beginning I taught education, foundation of education, and I also taught curriculum. Because these are the compulsory subjects that I studied from PCL level to master's level. That's why I didn't find any difficulty there. Anyway, the knowledge can be increased. So from those subjects and so I quite enjoyed teaching those subjects rather than English.
The language is different.
Yeah, the language is different here. Medium is different.
Yeah.
I taught those subjects in Nepali, and I found this quite easier because it is my mother tongue.
Yeah.
And so while teaching English, again the same thing is there. If I have to say you something, up to SLC, I was not able to ask anything in English, though I had good written English, and actually reading, in terms of reading and writing, I was better. But in terms of speaking, I was very poor. So when I admitted to PCA level at the Hassel campus, for 3 months I could not understand anything because one madam was teaching there, and I would be simply puzzling how she spoke in that way and how I can develop that kind of fluency.
You didn't get any exposure like that?
Yeah, I had this kind of the ambition at that time because I was taught by translation method, because our teachers, our gurus used to translate every sentence into Nepali, and at that time we thought that that was the best way, and we understood, but it hampered us because we spent altogether 10 years. Actually I started learning English from grade 4 and up to grade 10, so my spoken English was not there actually.
Really interesting.
Sir. So only after plus 2 level, at that time there are no plus level, only from the PCA level I was able to develop my spoken English because of my friends, so who took part together. So we enjoyed, right? We spoke only in English, then I was gradually able to speak, develop spoken English.
Okay, sir, you have been writing several books. You are one of the successful author, successful writer. You have been writing several books in English from a lower level to higher level classes. What has motivated you to write the books?
Actually, there was not any kind of the motivating factor. While I was studying at B.Ed third year, we did not have any books in the market, and we had to photocopy a lot of books provided by the teachers, and we have to take every class, right? Then when we photocopied many more books, because there was not any fixed textbook then, and we have to search the materials from various books, and at the time of, let's say, collecting materials from various books, I used to make the notes. I prepared notes, and I thought that if I publish this in the book form, then my friends, others, juniors would be benefited. That's why at first, after completing my B.Ed third year, and I published just one book, thinking that it would be simply helpful for the friends, but it was a grand success, and after that I was motivated to write more and more, and I involved in writing from that time.
Many books, right, you have been publishing. What challenges you have to face while writing the books?
There are challenges because we have to consider the context, we have to consider the interest level of the students, because all the students from our background are not so good in English. If we write very complex sentences, if we write very long sentences, if we choose difficult vocabulary items, they are not able to understand. That's why from my level, I selected very simple sentences, I selected very simple words, so that everybody can understand, right? And so this was really challenging for me, I thought, because I tried to simplify the language as far as possible.
We have also asked other teachers who have been teaching in boarding school, and they found the English books are written in very complex way in terms of the vocabulary, long sentences, which is really difficult for the students to understand. Only about the English, there are social studies, and there are science books. And the books are so bulky, and the teacher is oriented towards finishing the course rather than the actual learning. What is your opinion regarding this?
Oh, very nice question, interesting question. So in the context of our country, we have some kind of the misconception, right? We think that English language, teaching in English brings quality in education, which is quite bad actually. I say bad, it's not good, it is simply the misconception here. And in our context, we also have one social studies that has been written in English, and that is also taught in English, right? So it is quite bad, because social studies should be taught and it should be written in Nepali language, because there are many more cultural terms, many more contextual terms, there are social terms which can't be actually translated in English. That's why if it was written and taught in Nepali language, then it would have been better, but it's not in this way here. In the books, actually, in case of the boarding level, the common people have the misconception that they think that actually if their children are admitted to boarding school, then they get quality education. It is simply their actually fallacy, I say so, because only teaching in English, learning in English may not bring quality, because we are not teaching language there. We have to teaching the content. Content is not focused. Only the language is focused here, and teachers are also not like that, because English teachers can teach in English, it's okay, but social study teacher and other science teachers, mathematics teachers, and how can I expect that they can teach in English all the matters here, because they have to also learn the language, they have to also teach the language as well as the content, but our focus should be on the content rather than the language. That's why teaching in English, writing all the books in English is actually not so appropriate in the context of our country.
Let's talk about the other aspect of the language. Actually, the language is for the communications.
Yes.
But the teacher of the high school, so there are some communicative activities are given there, but they are not focusing in the communicative activities, right? Suppose we have various suprasegmental features, stage, intonations. Are the teachers lacking the information, knowledge, or due to carelessness it is happening?
Oh, very interesting question. English language teaching has been changed from past to present, and it goes on changing. It never remains the same one, because English language teaching started from grammar translation method, then there was direct method, audiolingual method, there was structural method, then came communicative language teaching, and a communicative language teaching focused on teaching all the language aspects, skills, right? So with fluency and pronunciation like that. This is just one aspect. Teaching and learning language, right, and learning the content are not the same thing. So we have got the fallacy, the misconception that if there are the native teachers of English, they can teach better, but that's not the way, because speaking English and teaching English, these are quite different things. So you know that we are fluent in speaking Nepali language, but we are not the better teachers of Nepali language, because we are not able to teach Nepali language here, because we are just like the drivers of Nepali. Similarly, native speakers are just like the drivers of English language here. So they know how to speak, like driving very fast, but they do not know the mechanical part of the language, just like what are the features of pronunciation, how to teach stress, intonation in the case of English, so phonemes, right, and vocabulary here, so word formation processes, grammar and grammatical patterns, sentence structures here. So these are those native speakers are not familiar with those things. That's why so non-native teachers like you and me are able to do so. So we are the drivers of English as well as the mechanics of English. So wherever difficulties occur, we can also manage those things like sentence structures, word structures, pronunciation like that. Anyway, at the beginning, so English was basically spoken in England and America, but nowadays English has become nobody's mother tongue then, because no country can claim that English is their mother tongue, English their national language here, because it has become everybody's language. English has been the international language, so it is spoken and understood all over the world because of let's say common feature, common thing. One thing is that it is easy here. Next thing is that so because of imperialism, so this language is actually killing other languages. So the same thing is happening in our country. So your mother tongue is one, my mother tongue is different, and there are other mother tongues. Actually, we have altogether 123 national languages, indigenous languages, right? But most of the let's say educated families, they do not want to teach their mother tongue. They are forgetting their mother tongue, and in the future, I think their identity will be lost, right? Because they do not speak their let's say Tamang language, mother language, Newar language, Gurung language, right? Tharu language in their family background, and they want to teach only English to their children here. Then they will not have identity. English is becoming the imperial language. It is becoming the killer language then. So if we talk about the future of those languages, and it's actually very serious.
English language is dominating other languages.
Dominating other languages, and it is not dominating, it is killing other languages. So that English language has become the mother language actually.
Okay, you have been conducting many seminars, workshops, training to the teachers. What problems do you see in the teachers of the private schools and the government school?
Again, it's a very nice question. We conduct training programs time and again, thinking that so there might be some kind of the refreshment for those teachers. Yeah, we train. It does not mean that we train them, because to the human beings training is not possible. Only animals can be trained, but we simply facilitate them, and we simply try to make them refreshed. We simply want to make them up to date, right? In case of, let's say, new technologies, new methods, new styles, and so how we have to teach like that, because they get actually exposure in teaching. There might be new teachers here, and some teachers might be not familiar with the techniques, styles, methods like that, and just we want to make them refreshed by exposing to those types of the, let's say, techniques, methodologies, right, materials and other styles, ways of teaching English. That's why they bring some difficulties, and we discuss over such kinds of the difficulties here. So some teachers might say, oh, pronunciation, how we have to teach pronunciation, but we can't be native like in terms of pronunciation, because our mother tongue always influences in the case of English, because if English speakers have to learn Nepali, they also have some kinds of influence. They have got native like English Nepali pronunciation. In the same ways, we people have the same. We try to be like the native speakers, but we can never be the native speaker here. That's why actually pronunciation should be, let's say, comprehensible, right? And if others can understand here, then it's okay, because language is for communication here. But one problem, so they take some kinds of the refreshment courses in terms of workshop, seminar like that, and it is only for training or refreshing. I don't think that they apply, they implement those things in the classroom. Right? So this is the pitiable condition here. They learn, they get chances to have some exposure here, and this is not implemented in the classroom, and they still teach through the traditional ways. It is the pitiable condition in the context of our country. So I am very worried about this issue actually.
If we see the current trend of government school, that government school is applying the English medium classes in their school, are they just copying from the private schools? What is your opinion regarding this one?
Oh, so this is the actually controversial issue in the context of our country, but also in the world, because so teaching in English, what we say English medium instruction, has become the global controversial issue. Because of English imperialism, this is like that. So if we see the context of English in the world, it can be used, it can be seen in three ways. So English is taken as the native language, right? In some countries, it is taken as a foreign language in our context, and it is also the second language where there was British imperialism, like India, right? So in India, English is taken as the second language. In America, Britain, English is the native language, and in our country, Nepal, in China, in Japan, English is taken as the foreign language here. So because of this trend, people have got the belief that if so courses or contents are taught in English, so it brings actually quality here. This is because of the influence side or spreading of the boarding or English medium schools. Because of those English medium schools, parents have got the tendency that if they try to teach, admit their children to those private medium schools, boarding schools here, and they will be fluent in English, they can learn better here. They have this kind of the fallacy. So because of this one, there are not many students in the, let's say, community schools. So number of the students started getting low and low. That's why they also adopted, and most of the schools in Nepal have started adopting English medium instruction in their schools. I don't think that it is actually better policy here, because if this trend continues, then so there will be only a few indigenous languages because of the influence of English. So I suggest them, right? I actually request them not to forget their indigenous languages as well. They have to respect, they have to preserve all the national languages, because the cognitivists say that so if we have to develop the cognitive field of the faculty of the children, they have to use mother tongue based multilingual education. Though it has been implemented in our country, so it is not getting success, right? So at the beginning up to grade 3, children are to be taught in their mother tongue, and only from grade 4 they are to be taught in the national language, and after some time they are to be exposed with the English language here. This is what we call mother tongue based multilingual education, but it is just opposite, right? So our medium of instruction has become English medium instruction from the nursery level in the boarding school, and same is happening in the community school here. So that this is very serious issue in the context of our country, because it is challenging our mother tongues, and our mother tongues are getting disappeared because of the influence of English and because of the tendency of English medium instruction even in the community schools actually. So nobody is serious on this issue actually.
We have talked about lots of aspects of English language.
Yes.
At the end, when you have to summarize, you are the English teachers. How do you analyze the present ELT, English language teaching context of our Nepal, especially province number 7?
Right. English language teaching formally started in Nepal from the opening of Darbar High School, right? After that, English medium schools also started, and in the, let's say, community schools, English started teaching as a compulsory subject from grade 4 and grade 1. Now it is also happening the same one here. Then English is taught in this way, and English is taught from school level to higher level, right? Though English is taught in this way, but actually we do not have much more concern about this matter, because whatever other countries are following, and we are also following the same thing, right? So we let's say have replacement courses, there are English teachers here, but the quality is very low, because we also teach English to the students who are studying at B.Ed level, M.Ed level here, and when they have to teach in the school level, actually they are not able to do so here, because there is the decreasing quality of teaching, especially in the case of English in our context. So I think one of the causes can be from the beginning level, English is taught still using translation method. Then English is not taught in English, so this can be the issue here. That's why but it is, let's say, it's actually flourishing. It is actually developing gradually here, but it is not developed as we have to expect like that.
What can be the solution of those problems from the government level, from the teachers, from the institutions?
So all the concerned stakeholders should be very serious in this issue, in this case. So government should adopt some kind of the policy, and it has to be strictly implemented by the administration, schools, school, let's say, administration means especially teachers, and teachers are to be also serious in this issue here. And so from time and again they have to conduct, let's say, those workshop activities, seminars. They have to take part in different kinds of the conferences nationally and internationally. They have to up to date, because every time there are new techniques, there are new methods, there are new materials, so they are to be exposed to those things here. That's why we can't say that those teachers who have passed, let's say, master's degree, bachelor's degree so long ago, before 20 years, we can't say that they can be the better teachers unless they are also refreshing their knowledge, they are updating themselves then. That's why all the English teachers in our country should up to date themselves, so that they can be exposed to the new trends in ELT, so that English language teaching can be improved to some extent.
Okay, sir, we are at the end of our program. What suggestion would you like to leave to our audience who are watching our program?
Since I am the English teacher, and I suggest them that in the case of English, there are 4 language skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing. If they have to develop listening, they have to listen. If they have to develop speaking, they have to speak. And if they have to develop reading skill, they have to read much more. And if they have to develop writing, they have to write also. We also have pronunciation, vocabulary, so grammar teaching here. Then again language functions, and all these things should be provided equal focus, right? And all have to be very much worried about studying. So without studying, without reading much more, we cannot broaden our knowledge. That's why if we want to broaden our knowledge, we should not actually waste every moment, every second, because every time is valuable, every second is valuable here. So we have to keep ourselves busy in studying, in reading, in writing, in listening, right? So that language can be developed, pronunciation can be developed, vocabulary can be increased. And again, we should not forget our mother tongue also, because our mother tongue, if there are other mother tongues, national language, these languages are not to be also forgotten along with teaching and learning English then. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your precious
Yes,
time,
thank you.
and wishing you all the best for your upcoming times.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, okay.
Today we had with us diligent and intellectual personality, trainer, book writer, and associate professor of Kailali Multiple Campus, Mr. M.S.Saud. Thank you everyone for watching our program, and thank you very much to Anil for assisting in technical part. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our Epical TV YouTube channel for more updates. Thank you. See you again.